lizard. He jumped.
Oh, I see it. Oh yeah, little baby. Oh, she got in. Oh.
Something you white just tell me.
Rude. Did you pee on it?
Jade is checking out a tent and a lantern and a fishing pole and a fire that were made by the Enrichment committee, while Armani is busy getting a drink after having peed on it. You having a good long drink? I know, cats in boxes, you know that's gonna be good. It might be too hot for camping. Is that what you said? Is that what you said? Too hot for camping?
Hi, pretty girl.
Ooh, look at those teeth.
Hi.
My, what big poofers you have. Yeah, it is kind of windy today, which is nice. It's warm. It's not dreadful. It's 89. That wind really helps. Thank you, Juana.
You're so pretty. Hello. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. So pretty.
It's all about the camera.
Yeah. I want a close-up. You smell it?
Jade has a V of spots on her forehead. It looks kind of like a tiara, so that's how we tell them apart. Ooh, she's gonna stalk Jamie. I'm gonna get that girl in pink.
JD! You're so pretty.
These guys have 3 of these enclosures all hooked together, so they've got like 3,600 square feet maybe. Pam is correct. These are leopards, not jaguars. And an easy way to tell a leopard from a jaguar is that jaguars have spots inside their rosettes. So those round spots that you see on Armani's back there, if she were a jaguar, there'd be a spot inside each one of those. And these guys have spots inside some of them, but not like all of them like a jaguar would have. We're very busy in December, Fang. That's when it's nice and cool, and of course when it's nice and cool is when everybody wants to visit. Right now, we only have like maybe 10 people out there on the 3 p.m. tour, so it's not busy at all. because it's 89 degrees. Donna, yes, we try to put those cones on our cats who have had surgery to keep them from messing with the stitches, but they're so wily, and they're built a little bit different from cats. Their necks are thicker, so it's harder to keep a cone on them. They can slip it over their head pretty quickly. Samantha, most exotic cats are solitary by nature. They don't want to share space. And we have an article about that at bigcatrescue.org/solitary. But the cats here who live together are cats who have been together their whole lives. And we haven't had an issue with them having really huge fights. The only time we have to worry about them wanting to kill each other is at feeding time. And so even the cats who do live together here, and there's very few cat couples, but they're separated before feeding so that they don't fight. Tammy, yes, we're so happy to finally have caught Monty. Peanut butter is what it took. Can't believe it took us so many different tries with different things to catch him. But yeah, he has been taken out of the bobcat rehab enclosure. He was never meant to be in there. He was put in for Mrs. Claus, and then when she moved before she caught him. Spirit Feather moved in, and he was way too big for Spirit Feather. So her training is going to have to start all over so that she learns what rats are all about.
I don't know what it is.
She's figured out mice. She just doesn't know that rats are not friends. In the wild, she's going to need to know that she's got to hunt rats. Yes, Lacey's correct. These guys cannot be sent back to the wild, and the reason is they were born in cages in America, so they're not native to the countries where they belong, and countries don't let you release animals who weren't native there, weren't born there. And of course, lions and tigers and leopards, they're not native to Florida, so we can't release them here, and they have no skills. We can rehab and release native bobcats who came from the wild, and we do a lot of that, and that's the best part of what we do because we think all wild cats should live free, and we're working on a federal bill to make it illegal for people to breed these cats for life in prison. You can help us over at bigcatact.com because it's just wrong for these guys to be bred, used as photo and ego props, and then discarded or warehoused or used as breeders to make more babies for those people that pimp them out. I see you sneaking up on me. Are you done with it? Looks like you're done with it. They make a funny noise. These guys are African leopards. Most of our leopards are Asian leopards. And our Asian leopards have a little sound, whereas these guys have a row, row sound. So I don't know if you saw that and thought it was a burp, or you may have seen a real burp. Shelly, the big cats don't purr. The biggest cat who can purr is the cougar. The size of cats bigger than cougars. So like lions, tigers, leopards, jaguars. Those guys can all roar. Can't purr. No purring for you. Well, we love you guys too. All of the cats have favorite keepers, and it usually has to do with who spends most time with them and reads to them and gives them treats. They all love Afton. They can run fast. I don't know how fast, but they're fast. Faster than me, that's all I need to know. One reason we don't go in with them. It's mostly because we don't want people to think that this would be a good pet, because we don't want people to pay to buy them as pets or to pay to touch them, and so we're not going to do anything here that makes them look like they could be a viable house pet, because they just never work out as pets. Thank you, Dale, for posting that link. Catherine, these are leopards. Jaguars would be a little bit shorter and stockier, and they would have spots inside those rosettes that you see on her side. You might notice she has a couple of spots, but with a jaguar they would have like mostly spots inside the rosettes. Andrea, they do not want us to touch them. Despite all of that rubbing and soliciting, it's also that if we stick our hand through the wire, they'll pull our whole body through this 4-inch hole, and that would really be ugly. And it's not because they're so mean, they just play rough. Pound for pound, they're 12 times stronger than we are. And in the wild, these guys would never allow a human to touch them. They are far too magnificent and regal for that. So it's just rude for us to take advantage of them in captivity and get our hands all over them. And it makes them look like a pet, and that's what makes people want to go out and buy them as pets. So we don't want to be hypocrites and be saying, don't buy them as pets, but look at me, I'm so special, I can pet them. That would just be wrong. Heidi, Savannah cats are horrible pets, and it's a horrible thing for people to buy Savannah cats. And I'm going to get a lot of hate mail over this, because I always do, from the Savannah cat breeders and the Bengal cat breeders and all the people who bought cats from those breeders. But here's why it's wrong. One, they can't make those hybrids without using wild cats. Those wild cats are kept in tiny, horrible little cages, and they breed them to domestic cats. Well, the wild cats would rather eat a domestic cat than breed it, and so an awful lot of those guys get killed in the process. And when the mama cats get pregnant, the kittens are often too big, and so they end up having to have them by C-section, or she may try to have them herself and die in the middle of birthing them. And that's why they're so expensive. It's because it's so hard to get a live one from all of the deaths that are caused in trying to breed them. And then there's always the people that say, well, mine's 4 generations away, or mine's 5 generations away. Well, you can't get to 4 and 5 without going through generations 1, 2, and 3. And those are the ones that end up being discarded at the pound, because they all bite and spray and make horrible pets. So it's a bad thing to do, and there's no excuse for it. There's cats dying in shelters all around this country. Nobody should be going out and paying. I heard a lady the other day saying she paid over $20,000 for her hybrid cats. Think of how many lives you could save. Ooh, somebody's gonna get bounced. You guys are being silly. These guys, I'm thinking, were born in 96 or 97. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/Jade or /Armani, it'll have their date of birth. You're too adorable.
Did you get her?
I'm going to join the paparazzi over here.
So she. Did you get her? Jade, what's she doing?
She's got the silly face on.
Did you get that going?
Oh man, here it comes.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Gonna light up the town.
Oh, now everybody's doing it. So cute back there.
Gotta load up on more water. The area she just walked into is her feeding lockout, and she's standing on the stone where they get fed and then drinking out of the water. And we elevate the bowls because in the wild these guys pee in lakes and streams, and we don't want them peeing in their water bowls.
You want to come play with what she was playing with?
Kimberly's right. There's no excuse for going to a circus. The trainers will always tell you that the only way they train is by using positive reinforcement, and it's just a lie. Of course, they're not going to show you that they use cattle prods and electric shocks and beat them with broom handles. Nobody would go to the circus if they saw how they were really trained. So the only part that the public ever sees are the rewards that they give the cats, but they always carry a stick or a whip or something so that the cat thinks that they've got the electric shock prod, and that's why the cats do the trick. It's because they're afraid, not because they have such a great bond with the trainer. Yeah, we absolutely do not allow any petting here. I don't pet the cats, Jamie doesn't pet the cats, nobody pets the cats. Because that's the number one reason for so many cats being abused. As long as there's people out there posting pictures of themselves posing with big cats, people are going to want to be like them and do that too, and that's what causes so many to be bred and abandoned. And Magnus, you're right. I mean, there's no way that we would allow people to handle us and pass us around, or take our children and pass them around and bounce them and have their pictures made with them. So if we wouldn't do it with our own children, why on earth would we allow people to touch these animals who have no say in the matter? You scare yourself. You scared yourself. No, Chris. A lot of these cats were hand-raised, and they were petted by their former owners until they got big enough to kill their owners, and that's when owners get rid of them. A lot of times they'll be full-grown in the pictures and videos that you see, but they're not sexually mature until they're about 4 or 5 years old. So the people handling them get away with it and everybody thinks they're dealing with an adult cat, but they're really just dealing with a huge kitten. But we did an article about don't they miss being petted. So if you go to bigcatrescue.org, there's a search bar at the top. Type in don't they miss being petted. Excuse me. And there's all of the reasons why they do not miss it. We don't allow people to touch the cats here, but they can use a back scratcher to help some of the cats with their grooming. And it's very few of our cats that will even allow somebody to help them, even when they need help getting the mats and stuff groomed off of them. And of course, they always start out by just rubbing them and trying to make it feel really good. And the cats don't want that. They don't want people handling them. All right, you look like you're done. My battery's done.